Alright, good day everybody. Today we're going to do an art piece. This is a piece of elm crotch that was laying on the ground and ugly and didn't know what to do with it. First we're going to pull the bark off of it. It wasn't on there very well. This only took about a minute and a half and it was pulled off. I sped it up, of course. And we'll figure out where we're going to put our woodworm screw. That's my favorite method. This is going to be a natural edge piece. Kind of Phil Anderson, Shady Acres wood turning style. He's actually the one that gave me the idea of how to turn this piece just by watching what he does. A little bit out of balance. We're going to use a face shield, of course, and our 5/8 bull gouge. And we're just going to plug away at it. This was a bit of a bumpy turn. I had to go slow. It was bouncing the lathe around pretty good because it was not balanced at all. Here's a little bit of real time of me turning it coming up here soon. Like I said, I just had to go slow, take little bits at a time. Yeah, this is real speed. You can see I was going slow. Every time you see me hold the gouge up like that real quick, that's after I've sharpened or I need to sharpen. I probably had to sharpen 4 or 5 times on this. This little piece was a very hard piece of wood. I'd say the only way I could do it correctly was sharp tools. Right here I'm working on putting the tenon on it. Again, I got the tenon's probably the most important part of this whole thing. Making sure you get that correct, the tenon in the foot. That dictates how well it'll be mounted on the lathe. It'll make sure you don't have any weird bounces or wobbles. It'll help keep all that stuff to a minimum. So take your time on your tenons. It's important. A little different camera view to give you an idea of how much I'm taking away and what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get rid of all the white. Keep as much piece as possible, but get rid of all that white paint that I put on there. I use sometimes latex paint, cheap latex paint that I found laying around to seal the end grain of pieces. This piece was pretty rough and pretty far gone, but I still threw it on there just to slow the drying down and get it so I could at least save something. Alright, now we're just flipping the piece around, making sure it's in the jaws correctly. I use a little handle on my chuck jaw. It's just a cheap Harbor Freight turning tool. It wasn't worth a crap, so I ripped the steel out of it and I used the handle to help tighten my chuck jaws. Saves on the wrist. Don't need carpal tunnel any worse than I've already got from all the typing from the office jobs. And just going at it, refining the shape, taking the wobble out, going from the top down to reduce tear out at the very edge. I know it's not a supported grain cut, but it's the only thing I could do to reduce that tear out. And then we're starting on the inside, slow and steady. She's a bumpy one, and I don't want to take too much away, and I don't want to get a funky catch and rip one of the wings off of this thing. So we're just going to slowly plug away at it. As you can see by these cuts here, I'm not taking very aggressive passes at all. The key to this whole thing was just light passes and take my time. And you also notice periodically I go and work on the wings. Once I get so deep, you can't really touch the wings because you lose the support from the inside and everything starts to flex. So I'll go down, an inch, and then I'll work on the wings a little bit, clean up that little inch that I just did. I'll go down an inch more, clean up the wing, keep going like that. I videoed the hollowing as far as I could, and then it started to get to the point where my hand was getting in the way, and I couldn't get a clear shot, so I just said screw it and finished the hollowing out. I'll show you a pic of what it looks like hollowed out before I put the finish on it here in a second. Alright, here's a shot of the inside after I got done hollowing. Now I'm going to sand it up. I'm going to use a Sandoflex for the outside rim, and then 80 through 400 and possibly 600 grit on the rest of it. The Sandoflex idea, again, I got from Phil at Shady Acres. He turned me onto these. Fantastic for natural edge, live edge. Heck, I even used it on the trim on my house around the door. I'm going to finish it with Watco Danish Oil. This isn't really a piece that you're going to put food in. It's not going to hold soup very well. So I just figure I'll put the Danish oil to it. It's a good, durable, tough finish. And then if you're using it as a display piece, whatever, you're not going to hurt it. People can pick it up. They can handle it. They can do whatever they want with it. All right, it's all done. I'm going to put it on a jam chuck this time to remove the tenon. Again, you just got to go slow. I don't want to chuck this thing across the room and beat an ass out of space with it, so I'm just going to go nice and slow passes. I'll show you real time here in a second. Yeah, that's real time. Alright, I'm making sure the base is concave so it'll sit flat. That's what you keep seeing me put the gouge across it for. That's as brave as I'll go with the tenon, as small as I'll go. I'm not that brave. And I decided to put some decorative rings on it as well. And I'll sand the base up. Here you can see I got a Jacob's chuck in the lathe and 80 grit and just burn that little nub off that way. It's the safest. Like I said, I don't want to chuck this piece. I got too much time into it. So I'll just go through the grits in my Jacob's chuck this way and get ready for burning the logo. Oh no! I did not do a good enough job. Luckily, I took the time to figure out how to realign my burning tool when I screw up. There we go. Alright, it's done. I decided to come outside in the sun because that's where it looks the best. Nice little art piece. It's a piece of maple crotch, maple, oh my gosh. It's a piece of elm crotch that's been sitting in my shed drying for a few years. It was on the ground for a year before I got to it, so it's got some splits and stuff. Won't make a good soup bowl, but it makes a great candle dish. I'll have a couple of shots at the end here of it with some tea lights in it, some LED tea lights sitting in the bottom of it. Looks pretty cool. And I also stuck a candle in it too, a big glass candle, and it looks pretty cool in that too. It's got a beautiful grain, beautiful figure. I don't know why, but that looks like the Iron Man mask. I don't know. Maybe that's just a nerd in me. Anyway, please like, subscribe, share, do all that stuff. I think I'll throw this for sale up in the Etsy store. I have no idea what I'm going to charge for it yet, but I'll throw this for sale up there eventually. Anyway, I hope you enjoy my turning. Alright, here it is with some little LED tea lights that I threw in there. Just showing you the different sides of it. What's cool is the light kind of shines through, and at night it shines through onto the table. It makes a cool little pattern. And also a big old candle sticking in there. It also looks good. I wish I had a better candle, but that's the only one I've got. I may have to invest in some. Anyway, hope you enjoyed. Like, subscribe, share. Check out Phil Anderson, Shady Acres Woodworking. I'm going to try to figure out how to link to his channel.